for me to say Shelly, it was so hard. So, so I would say auntie, and she was like, "I'm not your auntie." I'm like, "I know."
I'm not your
I'm like,
auntie.
"Yeah." She's like, "I'm not your auntie." I'm like, "But I don't know what to call you." She's
How are
like, "My
you?
name is Shelly."
Hi guys, it's me again, Priscilla Kuma, registered nurse and Bachelor of Science in Nursing, originally from Ghana and a US citizen. Today we're going international. We're taking it all the way to Mozambique, back to UK. So I have a sister here who is from Mozambique and she's a British citizen. She is a nursing student, and guess what she's studying? She's studying mental health nursing. And I
Yeah.
just found out that mental health nursing in UK is a 3-year program, not a 4-year like most of us have it. So that is good. And this is going to be a very informative discussion. If you want to school in the UK, if you want to go to nursing school in the UK, if you want to study mental health nursing, then you should watch this video to the end. Thank you for all my hosts. Thank you for everybody who invited me over to their channel. Thank you all new subscribers. Thank you people from Tasha Lord, Jenny Lee Mitchell, SVTV Africa, Becky Cetra's channel, Esther Sari in UK, Nanel Griselda in UK. Thank you all new subscribers who are here. So this is me. This is all about me. What I give you is what you get. There's nothing else to me. I'm very straightforward. I talk so fast. Most people know that. And I love what I do and it's very informative. So Flavia, welcome to my channel.
Thank you.
I'm so glad to have you here.
Thank you. I'm so glad to be here as well.
Thank you. Can you please introduce yourself to my viewers?
Right. My name is Flavia. So I'm here in UK. I've been here for a while, for like what, 15 to 16 years. Yeah. So I'm studying mental health in Northumbria University.
Okay. Nice, nice, nice. You've been there for so long. So, as I said, I think you are a British citizen, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So, how did you move from Mozambique to UK?
My family brought me here.
Okay. And which part of UK are you? What city are you in?
I'm in a northeast England in Newcastle.
Okay. And what informed your decision to go to nursing school? I believe you had already studied something prior to this. So, why nursing school?
Yeah. And because I've always said that I want to go to America. And when I ask like my friends, they say the easiest way to come to America is using nursing school. So, but yeah, so I did go into nursing school because of that initially. But at the same time, of course, I kind of like have this thing of wanting to help people. And so that also kind of like helped with the decision. But part of, I would say like maybe 70% of it was because I wanted to go to America.
Wow, I've heard this many, many times. So, what is it about America that you love so much that your dream is to be in America? What is it?
I've, al- I've got a few friends who live there. And then when I compare the life, actually, I have a good example where this friend of mine, he's lived in Surrey before. He was working with the oil company in here, and then he was transferred to America.
Okay.
So he was a good person to tell me like comparable things in terms of tax, quality of life, how people live there and how we live here. So I could actually make comparison and say, you know what, I think I'm better off being in America than
Yeah,
here. Also salary wise as well, because when
of
I look at
course.
the salary of
Money,
nursing here and in America, I'm
money,
like,
money, money.
I have to go. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so what before then? What were you doing? What field were you in? Did you divert? Were you doing something different, not health related?
It was more of a business side. So I did diploma in business and worked with optical companies and then went into health field because I said if I wanted to do nursing, I have to know how it feels like.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went to study, not to study, to work as a support worker. So which was funny enough, it was more like the people I worked with had mental health. So
Okay.
I can say that had like influence as well in me wanting to study mental health.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. So walk me through the process. If somebody wants to go to nursing school, what do they have to do? I know you are a British citizen, so you are not an international student, but tell me what requirements you have to put together before you get admission into the nursing school.
Um, I had like African what you call it, the high school certificate as well. So in that perspective, I would say that if your country have like O levels where you can be translated to GCSE, they call it here,
Mhm.
so you'll be fine. But for me, I remember they told me that I had to do again maths and English
Mhm.
to go into the diploma of health. So I had to do maths and English again and then do the access course just to give me the grades, which is a diploma in health, I think, and allied. And then after that, you then, which is a level, I think I would say it's level 3. And then that takes you to university. But if you already have these qualifications back home, I think you should be able to just transit to come to school here if you have like sort of level 3. So I don't know how any country works. I don't know how they can change that. I wouldn't be able to advise on that one. But
Okay.
if you have qualifications, I think the best way to do it is to look at the university that you want to go to,
Okay.
contact them and say what are the entry requirements, because sometimes even though you might have like a diploma, you might think you're qualified. In UK, sometimes they would say no, we don't recognize that, so you need to start all over again. Yeah.
Okay. So you had to take math and English and and you mentioned diploma. I don't get the relation.
Yeah. Yeah, so I had to take maths and English and then to take again the diploma, which is like they call it access to higher education.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
this one, yeah, yeah. So when you have your high school diploma and then or not high school diploma, but high school certificate,
Mm-hmm.
it you that means you don't have A levels of here.
Okay.
So students from here they get A levels and go straight to university.
Mm-hmm.
Because I didn't have that, I had to take access course diploma, which is like very intense. It's a 1 year course.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Mhm.
Okay. So how long did all those courses take you before you finally started the school?
It took me, I think GCSE took me a year, and then Access took me another year, so like 2 years together. So I would say because it starts like July time or so, so I would say like 3 years in total just to go to uni.
This is just the same for America. You do something they call prerequisites.
Yeah.
You put
Mhm.
courses together, biology, anatomy, chemistry, whatever together.
Yeah.
It will take you
Yeah.
about 2 years to put that together before you can apply to the university. Then you get
Yeah.
admission into the university first before you further go and get admission into the nursing school that is within the university.
Yeah.
So is it the
To add
same?
to that, I had to do actually, you need to have a science subject as well. So I had science in my thing, but I didn't have biology.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, I didn't like it in high school. So they told me that if I want to make it easier, anatomy in diploma is more advanced. So I need to have kind of like knowledge in biology, which I took as as a high school subject.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
This is it's not for the faint hearted. You need to be very serious,
Oh,
determined
you
to
need
go
to
to
be
the next.
really serious. Yeah, you need to know what you want, especially the access course. I would say, like, I would really stress that you need to know what you want because if you don't, it's too intense. So you have to like really want to, what you want.
Wow. I'm proud that
Yeah.
you were able to do that. So you started a nursing school, and did you have to do like general nursing the first year before you branched off doing mental health nursing, or was it mental health nursing from the get go?
Well, in my head from the get go, I was like, I'm gonna do mental health. But when we went to do the access course diploma,
Mm-hmm.
our lectures there told us that it's best to do general nursing. So we all applied for general nursing. Maybe one or two people that were bold and really confident were like, no, we're gonna do mental health from the start. But I started with the general nursing. So when I went to general nursing, I remember they sent me to placement, which you call it clinicals.
Clinical, yeah.
So yeah, so I went to the hospital to check that, and I just didn't like it. For some reason, I was like, I don't like it here, but I think it was the environment. So I just didn't like the staff there. They didn't seem friendly enough.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't think I want to work here. So with that idea, I just said, I think general nursing is not for
No.
me, and that was it. Yeah, and then I started like process of saying I want to change. I want to change it. So this was in I think about so we started school September here.
Mm-hmm.
So I think about November, October time, I started saying that I want to change.
Yeah.
So they had to transfer me from general nursing to mental health.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So you have to join another group that was already in session, or did you have to start from first year of mental health nursing?
No, I had to just join the one that's already in session. So they did tell me that I can catch up. And my lecture of general nursing as well had to give the things that I've done already. So they were like, I'm okay to just transition to mental health.
So did you join them in the second year or third year? How did you join? Which year?
No, I actually joined in the first year, but it was in December time. So like after 3 months.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's intense.
Yeah.
So which year are you now?
I'm in the final year. So everyone else, we all finish in July, but I owe hours to NMC. So I have to finish in August.
Oh, so you owe hours to NMC. You don't owe the hours to your school, or NMC has a
No,
requirement you have to meet.
there's requirements of how much hours you have to have. And if you don't meet them, even if it's 1 hour less, you can't because they
Yeah.
send everything, all your grades
Yeah.
around end of July, I think August.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Wow. So after you graduate in July, that then you get your license, your PIN number, or how does it work?
No, so in July, so it's like they will present all the grades, all the assignments, whatever dissertation,
Mm-hmm.
including the placement. But because they know that some students they're behind in terms
Yeah.
of maybe if somebody failed, they give up to August. So
Mm-hmm.
that's why, like my hours, I can pay them back in August. And then after August, by the end of August, they send everything, all my results and everything. But they won't hold everyone back if mine is behind. So it's all about when you finish your placement and all your grades are in one place, then they send them. Then after that, NMC says, okay, we are happy with the hours, we're happy with the grades, and then they send you the PIN. So in my situation, I would say I'll have my PIN around September, October, depending on if everything goes well. But everyone else, theirs they'll have in August because they finish in July, so they'll have their PIN by August.
Okay. So with the placement, don't you all go as a group? Because my time clinicals, we all go as a group. So how come you are lagging some hours behind?
We do go as a group, but because of you remember COVID, we had to isolate, or maybe my son because I've got a child as well.
Mm-hmm.
So my son they used to have this bubble thing where if one person in that class have COVID, the whole class had to isolate.
Yes.
So because I'm alone with him, so I had to also stay back. So that's how I owe it hours. So because of that, it's just on you. So it's like second year when you finish, the NMC, or should I say the exam board, they'll total your hours and say, okay, this is what you've done so far, and then
Mm-hmm.
this is are the hours you owe it. Like myself, I owe 120 hours, which works out 3 weeks.
Okay.
So yeah, so that's why I said August. So by 3 weeks, end of August, I should be done with everything.
Okay. So let's take it a step back. Nursing school, mental health. What are some of the courses you studied? Was it online? Because I'm sure COVID. It was COVID time, as you just said. So was it
Yeah.
online, and or were you going in person before COVID hit? And how? What the courses did you study? Anatomy, physiology.
So in mental health, like first I would talk about the placement, which is the clinical you call it.
Okay.
The first year you have it. Another thing, the curriculum in UK changed.
Okay.
So before you used to have like blocks of 5 weeks you are in at uni, and then
Mm-hmm.
5 weeks you're doing clinicals.
Yeah.
But then, so we did that in the first year, and
Mm-hmm.
then just the beginning of should I say first year? No, well, I think it was a lot in the middle of our clinical in the first year. COVID hit,
Mm-hmm.
and then we were taken off placement. Our year, our cohort, were taken off the placement the whole year. So now we had to do everything online.
Yeah.
Then the second year, when they opened, they had to discuss that for student nurses, they still have to go to clinicals. So we started again in clinicals as well. So we do both. Like now, the way the syllabus is, we start in September. So you also go. I think by end of September you start your clinicals. So usually it's like 10 weeks,
Mm-hmm.
and that's it.
Wow. Well,
Mm-hmm.
I'm very proud of you. So the cost, tell me how much is involved. You are a British citizen. Are you paying any fees at all? Do you get any tuition support
No,
from the government?
yes. So we get loan, which they call it student loan.
Mm-hmm.
And then as well, you have a choice to apply for student maintenance loan.
Okay.
As a British citizen, you are entitled to that. So they give you a loan minimum it's a 10,000 a year. That's for you to live on. And because I've got a child and a single mother, so they also give, I would say, a grant, childcare grant. So they do that as well. At the same time, with NHS, because the numbers of nurses applying, they were really low. Because I think before it used to be free for nurses to study nursing.
Mm-hmm.
So they came back with the offer of grant on top of what we get. But this one you don't pay back, it's not a loan. So they give you like I think 5,000 for nurses a year. So it's spread out 3 times in every semester. Yeah.
So the minimum of 10,000, that's for a year. So you get 30,000, just take the 10,000 for 3 times.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what are the condition and terms? When are you supposed to pay it back? When you start working?
So yes, I think if I'm not wrong, I think the moment you start earning 25,000 up. So here the starting salary of nurses anyway is 26. So it's definitely you're gonna start paying the first time that you start working, you start paying for your loan. But I think from what I heard, it's not really up to £200 a month.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how has nursing school been? Was it very intense?
It was intense. Also, I didn't answer your question when you said, "Do we do anatomy?" In there, we don't. We don't. We do mostly psychology, psychiatric part of things, but not really anatomy as such.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the course, yeah, I would say it's intense. Because you are meant to do your theory and then your practicals as well. And then if you consider like a person like myself who has a child, and then you have to think about, because sometimes they'll place you in a ward and then you're doing like shifts. Like now I'm on a night shift on my placement, not because they asked me to, but because for me, my child care, which is like somebody who look after my child, babysitting you call it, it's easier for me to do one night and then 2 long days in a week, and that covers my full time 37.5 hours a week. So yeah, so it's been really challenging, but I've managed to do it so far. So yeah.
So let's step back a bit again to your personal life. You keep mentioning you have a son, you have a son. How has it been managing school and raising a son? And how is childcare? Is it free for his school, or does he pay at a certain age? Daycare or nanny? What do you do?
Here, I think from the age of 2, the government, if you're a citizen, the
Okay.
government have like 30 hours free for childcare for every child from 2 years old. But I think there's a condition to that. I think one of the parents have to be working at least part time. And then when it comes to paying, I had a friend who was a uni as well doing general nursing. She had to be paying. So the money that she was getting as a student maintenance loan, which was I think 10 grand. So she used to pay that for childcare because she used to pay I think 800. She was saying a month
Wow.
just for her, yeah, just for one child. So you
Wow.
can imagine how expensive it is for somebody who don't have a childcare grant like myself.
Yeah. 800,
So
and that's a lot. And
that's a
you're
lot.
even in school, so you're not even working to be able to make that much
Yeah,
to pay for it.
yeah, yeah. And that's because she have a husband. She's married, so they considered the fact that he's working.
It's income. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow. So you got a child, the grant to support your child.
To support a child because I'm a single mother. If not, I would be in her shoes, had to pay for that. Now I start working, I have to pay for that.
Somebody watching this will be like, "Oh, I prefer to be a single mother instead because 800 that's a lot of money." So now I think,
Yeah,
how old is he? 8, 9 years.
he's 9 years
How?
old.
Okay, so is he grade? Do you use the grading system? What grade is he, or what class is he in right now? In terms
Here
of
they call it a year, so he's in year 4.
year 4. Okay, US they
So
use
in
the grade.
September, yeah, in September he'll start year 5.
Wow, that's very nice. I'm proud that you're able to do nursing school and raising a family. That's a full-time job on its own.
It's hard. It's
Yes,
hard.
it is. Yes.
Yeah.
So after the education, what is your plan? What do you want to do with your nursing? What do you want to do? Where do you want to work in UK, or you still want to come to the US and work as your dream husband?
Oh, Priscilla, to be honest, like what had happened was I was following this agency called Peyton or Grady. So because I've known them for years and they do this thing. And then I don't know why in my head I never asked them when I was in year one to say, okay, what's the requirement? I just thought in my head, well, I'm doing nursing, it doesn't matter. So
Yeah.
and then something told me like, you're about to graduate. Can you send them an email to ask like what do they need? And then I
Yeah.
did. Shockingly, they come up with a list. They were like, so they told me I need to do a resume. And so I did my CV, and then they said I need to include the hours I've done for clinicals. So I
Yeah.
did from year one, I did brief like to say, okay, this is what I've been doing
Mm-hmm.
and blah, 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 just so they can have an idea of what
Yeah.
exactly I've done.
Yeah.
And they come up with, no, you're not qualified for any clerks. You need obstetrics, theater, blah, blah. I think there were 5 things. I'm like, but the look of things, I only covered one thing, mental health side. That's it. The other 4. And then they were like, but you can send an email
Mm-hmm.
to CGNF. And they were like,
GFF.
you need to, yeah, contact them. Maybe they might give you advice on what to go about it. So far, I didn't do it because it put me off. Because when I asked like other people, they were like, no, because you didn't do like general nursing. So it's
Yeah.
really hard to like come to America with that. So I'm just like stuck at the moment. I'm like, I don't know what to do. I don't want to go back to do the whole general nursing again. So maybe masters, I'm open to do that. But I'm like, what if I do masters and then they say the same thing? And so yeah, that's where I'm at right now.
Wow. Anyway, I'm glad that you and I met, and luckily for mental health nurses, I haven't mentioned this, but let me just introduce myself again. I'm a lead consultant at USRN Pathway Consult. I run
Right.
a consult where we help nurses come and work in the US. We literally hold your hands and walk you through the process.
Right.
Coming to the US is very cumbersome, very lengthy, very expensive, and very frustrating, but we have decided to simplify it for you. We will show you the states to choose. We will show you the evaluation services you want to use, the right ones based on what you studied in school. We know how
That's
to navigate
good.
all that. Yeah, thank you. We know how to navigate all that and do everything literally for you for just a token, a chicken change,
Yeah.
because the work involved is a lot. Many people have
Yeah.
started the USRN journey and stopped halfway.
When you talk about the process, I mean the paperwork. I remember just for me to ask them a simple question, they made me fill the forms. I'm like, I'm not doing that. That's just so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you need a question, you fill a form and all that, but we know how to navigate it. So our email is usrnpathwayconsult@gmail.com. We have our phone numbers. I'm going to leave everything in the description box and in the comment section. We have a Facebook group and we have a Facebook page. They are all USRN Pathway Consult. And you know
Right.
where to find me. You can leave a comment here and say, how can I reach you? I'll leave my phone number here for other people reading the comments to find us. So we will literally hold your hands and walk you through the process and make life comfortable for you. Then you will go to take the NCLEX if you're in South Africa, or if you're in Africa, you only take it in South Africa. If you're in UK, there's a center you take it. If you're in Asia, you can take it in Philippines, you can take it in India. Then we link you up to recruiters who want people who already have passed the NCLEX. They want
Right.
you to already have NCLEX. It's easier for them to work with you. But there are other ones that sponsor your NCLEX and all this paperwork and things. And when you come to the US, you are bonded to them for 2 to 3 years and they take a portion of your salary. So see me and let's talk about all this backdoor if you're watching this and you're impressed. So I'm very proud of your journey. You've done so well. So I
Thank you.
believe you still have some childhood memories of Mozambique. How was it
Yeah.
like for you coming to a foreign land and starting life all over in the UK? How's there been the difference, the culture shock, the adjustments? What's different?
It's a lot of difference. The first difference I had was I remember I had a first job in Morrison's. And then the supervisor, obviously, she was older than me. I think she was in her 60s, and I think her name was Shelley. So I had to be asking her, like, let's say I wanted to do something. For me to say Shelley, it was so hard. So, so I would say auntie, and she was like, I'm not your auntie. I'm like, I know. I'm like, yeah. She's like, I'm not your auntie. I'm like, but I don't know what to call you. She was
How are
like, my
you?
name is Shelley. I'm like, yes, but I can't even call you Shelly. She's like, why? Well, that's my name. I'm like, I can't. It's not respectful. So
No.
I struggled with that. Another thing was eye contact. Like
Oh
they
my
in
God.
here,
Eye
they kind
contact.
of. So I would be talking, I'm looking that way. They're like, you need to look at me. I'm like, I can't look in your eyes. I can't do that. But now I got used to it. So
Yeah.
that was number one, how the youngsters here, how the youth would talk to
Yeah.
maybe their parents. I would be shocked. I'll be like, wow, you know, if I did that, I would be dead by now.
Mhm.
So those are one thing. Even the food is different. So my own background, I've got my mother from Malawi and my dad from Mozambique. So I've got like two cultures there. So it was still both different.
Mhm.
Mozambique, we speak Portuguese. Malawi, it's well, Chichewa and English as well. So the schools in Malawi, it's all Chichewa and English based. In Mozambique, it's all Portuguese. So,
What
but
do you
I I speak Portuguese, but I forgot how to speak like fluently. But my family can't speak English, so they speak to me in Portuguese. I reply in
Mhm.
Chewa or Mozambican local language. Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, so the culture shocks, is that all?
It's a lot. If I had to speak about it, I'll be here all day.
I
So the
know.
things that stand out is that. Another thing, I don't know about other people, but what I found, like in terms of a Christian, when you're a Christian, like how you would speak about God here, it's like you're almost like limited. You can't really just really be like, "Oh, God loves you," or "God bless you." I think Americans are more like a little bit okay, but in here they're like, "Don't force God on me." I'm like,
Yeah.
okay.
Don't force God on me.
The dog, yeah. So like you go on a job, they will talk about another African person. So I'm really uncomfortable. They'll be like, "Oh, do you know this person? She's so religious. She talks about God all the time." I'm thinking, yeah, I'm just trying to keep my mouth shut.
Yeah. They don't
Yeah,
like that.
so they don't like that.
They
So
don't like
yeah, but apart from that, the school system here, I feel like they're more like easier, more lenient.
okay.
The way we learn in Africa is very strict.
Yes.
But I've noticed that when I went to do my maths and English, so it was like at high school level, even though it was, people who are a little bit older.
Yeah.
So, and you would tell that the things they are learning and how they're struggling with it and how they are taught is so different. But I feel like their system of teaching is easier for you to kind of like absorb. In Africa, and it's really, really hard. It's like you have to get it. If you don't get it, then,
Forget
yeah,
about it.
forget about it. But here, I think I need to add to that, like if you didn't get your grades here, the system, I like that they'll give you opportunity to start again. You can start in level one. I had friends who because you do the test. When you go to college, you do the test to see where your level is. And then with that level, they can determine if they put you like in level one or entry level. So you kind of like go in levels. Of course, it's tiresome. It takes a long time, but it kind of like brings back the memories of what you've learned. And then and when they see that you're doing well, they also jump you. Because I
Okay.
remember for me when I did the test, they were like, "I think you need to be entry level." I'm like, "What? I have a high school diploma." They're like, "No, you can't." So they put me entry level within the same week. They taught us to write essays and then do the maths, whatever. And then they put me straight away in GCSE. They were like, "No, you're not meant to be here. Who put you here?" And then they're talking about each other. I'm like, "I don't know." So that's a good system.
So do you have some international students in your class? People who came in to study nursing?
No,
No.
no. Most of them they're all sitting here. I only met one Nigerian I think she came from Turkey. She studied nursing in Turkey. So she have to do the NMC transition here to be able to, but which is a 1 year course to be able to transition to practice in this country. So
Oh,
that's all I know about that. Yeah.
she has to do a course to be able to practice?
Yes. Because I think I don't know whether what they learn in Turkey, but that's what she said she had to do.
Okay. So she just joined you guys in the third year?
Yes.
Okay. Nice. It's been nice chatting with you. I would definitely bring you back because people will have more questions. Most of my
Yeah,
viewers are
that's
in
fine.
most
Yeah, that's
people are
fine.
in
But
please
I
go
would
ahead.
say like if anyone wants to study like in the UK, you want to do nursing and you're thinking about America like myself, please just do general nursing. Make your life easier. Go do general nursing. And
That
also like yeah, find information as well because the general nursing now it's not as it used to. The syllabus, the way they made it now, it's like it's focused on that. Before the syllabus, they would I think every clinical they will send you to children, they'll send you to theater, they'll send you to this, that, but now they don't do that. So with the list that they gave me, obstetric, pediatric, theater, not really general nursing. They don't really cover all of that anyway. Let me put it that there. Like maybe if you bring somebody who is doing adult nursing in UK right now, not the ones who studied before, because that's a different syllabus, but the ones who studied now, I think they're the ones who have more idea of what they're covering, and if those covering they're even enough.
Okay. So one
Yeah.
last question. If somebody studies mental health nursing in the UK and wants to remain in UK and work in UK, what are the kind of places they can work? Which facility? Here we call them behavioral sciences
Yeah.
departments. How do you call yours? And which places can they work?
You can work in forensics, which I had a clinical there. So it's you're working with people who were in prison and they need treatment. So they're in a transition where to go back to prison, or they can be discharged to go in a community. And then you also work in a community, which is going to people's houses. And these people are on the road to recovery. So they're trying to cope at home with the mental health. And also you have where I'm planning to go, acute ward, which these are really mentally ill individuals who need treatment. They could be a risk to themselves and to the public, but the focus is really to stabilize them. And then you have specialist units, which is like mother and baby. So like they're not necessarily like the baby has mental health, but the mother is. And the reason why they're there is because they're pregnant, so they can't really give them certain medication. So they might be going down the hill because they're not getting certain treatment. So they need to be in these facilities, and then their babies as well, so that the bond of the mother and child is not detached. And then you have where I am on my clinical, which is called like let's say people who are resistant to mental health medication. They've tried everything. Maybe they've got schizophrenia, bipolar, whatever, depression. And this is a special unit where they only have focused medication that maybe are very strong, that other wards can't use it.
Yeah.
And there. So yeah, and then schools and prison as well. Yeah, I think that's about it. And sometimes you can work in a emergency department. Let's say somebody's in crisis, and then they have to go there, and the crisis team as well.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
It's been nice chatting with you, my sister from Mozambique, called Flavia. I got it right. Flavia. I would definitely bring you on. Thanks for willing to come share this to motivate somebody. As she said, do general nursing first. If you don't know where life will take you, and if you have plans of traveling, America will frustrate you. You need to do general nursing first. Even though there's a way to figure it out, it's going to be so stressful. So any last words so that you sign off today?
You did mention that you're having this company that helps consultant, like so do you also do with the people who are like myself who studied mental health? And
yes.
Okay,
so
that's good.
So anybody who's schooled outside the US who wants to work, we will basically navigate where to pass for you. Our main target group has been people in Africa who schooled in Africa, but if you're in the UK, you're going to do the same process like somebody who is in Africa. You still do the same paperwork. So we've extended our services globally. We are attending to people all over the world because a lot of people need us, and there's nothing like this. So let me proudly say we are the first to start something like this. Yes.
That's good. And I'll be one to be like admitted
I know. You have to sign up for it. And we'll help you navigate the process. And we're looking forward to having you in America. It's a great country, trust me.
Thank you. Oh, my son is like, I want to be a basketballer. I can't be a basketballer in UK. I'm like, yes, calm down.
Wow. He will.
Yeah.
Okay. So thank you and bye-bye.